May is Better Hearing and Speech Month, and my guest on Crosswalk Magazine is Tim Cross, Regional Director for Earzlink. Tell me just a little bit about Earzlink. You've got quite a few different offices all over the state, and more than that, in fact.
Yes, Earzlink was founded about 2.5 years ago with the idea that we wanted to meet some needs that weren't presently being met throughout the state of Ohio. And we started in the central part of the state around the Columbus area. And we have offices kind of surrounding the Beltway there. I came on board about almost a year ago to help with the development down in the southern area where there were some great needs down in Wilmington, Hillsborough, Washington Courthouse, Lebanon, down in that part of the state where we found there were some needs that were not being met. Within the hearing industry, and I've been in the hearing industry, this is now my 26th year. When I started, I was very optimistic that, as the industry told us, if hearing technology just improved, that we would be able to help just about everybody, and we wouldn't be able to handle the amount of patients that we were going to be able to serve. And what we found over the years is that has not been the case. The number of people needing help has increased dramatically. Some sources indicate that we're up around 40 million Americans who are in need of hearing health care at this time with some type of permanent hearing loss. And yet our market penetration has stayed right around the 20% range. If it wasn't for the expansion of the VA being able to help more and more people, we would probably actually have a declining market. And so what were those barriers? What's keeping people? And we wanted to be able to see if we could identify and remove those barriers so more and more people needing help with their hearing and communication abilities could receive that help. Some of those barriers, in case you're wondering, the obvious one, people say, well, what about the cost? And that is one of the barriers that there, but there are many others. And I would say one of them has to do with the fact that people don't understand hearing loss. We think of hearing loss in basically being the fact that I just can't hear, but that's not the way it works. It's more of an understanding or lack of information. Sometimes we use an illustration with Wheel of Fortune. You see the letters turn over, and you have a clue at the bottom that tells you this is the topic. It's a person or a place. And you start seeing those letters turn over, and all of a sudden you look and you say, wow, if I was on TV, I'd be rich because I got it with just 3 letters. But other times they can turn over all the letters but one, and you're thinking, what in the world is that? When we lose our hearing, we lose bits and pieces of information. And it's not always the energy of speech, but rather the sounds that give clarity or distinction. And so you can hear somebody, but you say, I didn't understand that. And if somebody gives you the same message a second time and you're still not getting that information, it may not clear things up, and that puts you in a very difficult position.
Wow. Good definition. Good definition. All right, so what are you seeking to do? You said you wanted to reach a public that's not being reached right now.
Yes, we first of all want people to feel safe in seeking help for their hearing. We've discovered that people are not ready to seek help when they first discover hearing loss is existing in their situation. They typically have to digest this and see, well, is it just a mild inconvenience, or is this something that I really need to be addressing? But when they come to the point where they know they need to do something about their hearing, they're looking for 2 things. They're looking for hope. Can I be helped in a meaningful way? They've seen others perhaps who have not, and they don't want to go down that pathway. They've seen others who have put it off, and they don't want to go down that pathway, but they want to find the safe and sure pathway. So they're looking for help, something that's going to work where they live and in their lifestyle, that's going to meet the needs that they specifically have. And then ultimately, then they want to make sure that they did the right thing. Did they just improve their situation, or are they hearing the best they can in an economical and affordable manner?
So tell me exactly what you do at Earzlink.
Well, at Earzlink, we seek to, first of all, do everything we do by permission. We invite people to come and find out about their hearing when they have a perceived need. And when they have chosen to come and see us at one of our convenient locations, we will understand from them what brought them in. What is it that motivated them to come in? What are their true needs? And then after we've discovered what those are together, then we'll seek to find out what is their ability, what is remaining with their hearing, what is the problem that exists. Do they have hearing loss? Are they truly a candidate for help? They have to have a permanent loss of hearing that's correctable. They have to be aware of the effects of their loss on a regular basis, and they have to be a willing participant in the process. Some people are not ready to make that choice or to express that they're willing until they fully understand their need and their circumstance and what the outcome might be before they would say, I'm willing to try. So we go through that process and identify those specific things that are important to them, explain what's going on, and then we allow them to hear what it would sound like if they, in fact, were experiencing the improvement that we're suggesting or that we might recommend. And once they experience that, then we can offer them the opportunity to try something over a period of time where they live and in the environments where they have the difficulties. During that process, if we are able to help them to their level of satisfaction, then they can choose to keep the solution that we recommend. And it may not just be one choice that they have. We'll help them to decide what is the most economical or the affordable best. What's going to give them the value? If it doesn't meet their needs, the needs that they brought up, then it's not helpful no matter what the cost is. But if it's out of reach and they can't attain it because of the cost factors, then it doesn't matter how well they hear if they can't afford to get that benefit.
All right. Now, you have, you're in the process of revamping the website at Earzlink.com.
Yes, we're looking forward to, in the very near future, having a more interactive website as opposed to a more of a static website. It presently has some ability to receive information from those who are interested, but we're excited about some of the things that are coming, and we would like to be able to include some literature that people can just pull right off their own website in the comfort and safety of their own home. One of those pieces of literature is what we kind of call the Hearing Healthcare Bill of Rights. We find that there really isn't much advocacy for those with hearing loss throughout our country, and as a result, we want people to be empowered to know what to do when it comes to making decisions about their hearing. So we've included 10 things that everyone should know and ask before making a commitment to improve their hearing. And these will be things that will be available soon. For those who would like to receive this information before it's available on the web, we'll be happy to make reprints available, or we could just email them directly upon request.
Well, Tim, what are some of the other things that you're doing to meet the needs of people at Earzlink?
Well, one thing that we find is that there tends to be some confusion. It seems like every advertisement that's in the newspaper tells people how they have the latest and greatest and the best solution that's out there, and it's going to solve their problems and meet their needs. And what we like people to know is that we have access to virtually all manufacturers' products. So we're not limited to a specific brand of product, but that we can find the solution that's truly going to help them and meet their needs in the best manner. We also guarantee to have the best price on any product that we dispense in the state of Ohio so that people can feel safe about choosing a product, knowing that they're going to get the best value for that specific product that we're dispensing. And then ultimately, once they decide to keep a product, it's met their needs and they're pleased with it, we provide ongoing lifetime care with all of the solutions that we fit at any one of our conveniently located offices. And one note, too, we do not fit proprietary software in our products, meaning that if somebody leaves the area and needs to be cared for anywhere in the United States or somewhere around the world where hearing aids are available, those hearing instruments can be programmed virtually any place so that they're not limited to just the Earzlink office. Wow,
that's good to know. All right, well, now we've talked about people who are just maybe experiencing hearing loss for the first time. They're getting their first, hearing aids perhaps. But what about people who already have hearing aids?
That's a very good question, because many people, like I said earlier, the majority of people who have hearing instruments, our studies have found that, and the ones I've read about, have found that people could be hearing significantly better with their hearing solution if it was understood and it was properly set to meet their specific needs. And we invite people to come in with their hearing instruments for a benefit enhancement. And what we'll do is identify where their present hearing condition is, realizing that we only work with the hearing that remains. We cannot restore the damage that has been done to the inner ear itself. However, we can identify what their potential is, identify what the potential within the instruments are, the parameters that exist there, and seek to maximize their potential with their own solution. And in most cases, I think over 80% in most of the clinics that we've done, we've seen people tell us that they're hearing significantly better. And more recently, I've seen some people tell me that even with newer instruments or ones that are 1 or 2 years old, they said they've never heard as well with their hearing instruments as they do now after just spending a short time with us. And we're happy to do that at no cost. People ask us, well, why would you do that for free? And again, our philosophy is if there are more advocates out there for better hearing, saying that hearing instruments work, they work for me, people are much more inclined to explore on their own the possibilities of help than if they see advertisements in a newspaper or on television or some other place.
What about people who perhaps are in a nursing home or a situation that they're not coming into your office?
That's a great question, because obviously that's a growing population that we see, and we also know that a larger percentage of people who find themselves in this type of living arrangement are likely to have permanent hearing loss and have the needs of hearing care. One of the things that we do for our practitioners is to set them up in such a way that they can have up to 20% of their time each week to connect with their communities where they're serving, so they're not bound to the office. They can go and provide care at a nursing care center on a consistent basis rather than a one-time episode. And we seek those opportunities in the office locations where we have physical offices, where we can go out and have a connection within the community for those who may be non-ambulatory. They're not able to come in, or where it's just not practical. It would be such a stressful situation. And most care facilities invite our presence. They're glad to have somebody who's willing to come in and not only help people with their hearing, but to service those people who already have hearing instruments and have needs.
Since this is a Better Hearing and Speech Month, how about a few just summary statements for us on things that you have a burden for at Earzlink?
Well, I would say a couple of things come to mind. The first is that communication, in my opinion, is very vital to relationships. And I believe that, and this is my personal opinion, that the most important thing in life are relationships. First and foremost, your relationship with God. And then secondly, your relationship with those that are closest to you, your family and close friends. And then, of course, others. How can we reach out and connect with others if we can't understand what they're saying? And so the most vital thing to a relationship is good, clear communications. And if we can restore the level of confidence and allow people to be able to participate in communications in ways that they had kind of set aside or felt uncomfortable doing so more recently, then we actually, as patients have told us, given them back a part of their life. I would like to say one other thing, too. I think one of the most valuable resources we have in this country is being squandered, and that is the wisdom and knowledge of our seniors. And they have so much information available, and yet if we can't connect with them, we're taking that information, that wisdom, that knowledge, and just setting it aside and losing it. And if we can stay connected, they're going to be willing to talk and share.
My thanks to Tim Cross, Regional Director for Earzlink. With 9 locations here in Central Ohio, visit Earzlink.com. That's Earzlink.com. The views expressed are those of the participants and may not necessarily reflect the views of the staff, ownership, and advertisers of the Word 880 WRFD. I'm Ann Ray. Join me again next week for Crosswalk Magazine.